did you realize your child's trauma wasn't over? I found Maya at 2 a.m. crouched in my bathtub, red on her thighs, whispering, "He said he'd hurt you if I tell anyone." The next morning at school, I watched Kayla collapse in gym, mumbling, "Detention isn't detention anymore." By the lockers, girls whispered about who had to stay late with Mr. Peterson. His name hung in the air like a curse. At breakfast, I barely got Peterson out before Maya bolted to the bathroom, vomiting loud enough for me to hear from the kitchen. Meanwhile, Peterson just smiled. Everyone's golden boy, drama coach, and teacher of the year. But I'd watched him corner girls in empty hallways, backing them against lockers while whispering about their potential. His hands always lingered too long on their shoulders during rehearsals. I marched into Principal Martinez's office. She'd been my mentor for 10 years. "You're making dangerous accusations about our most respected teacher," she said, her voice cold as ice. "Drop this, or you're burning the whole school down for nothing." By morning, someone had carved "traitor" into my car, and teachers were treating me like I had the plague. Peterson started his psychological games immediately. He'd pass me in hallways with that predator smile, maintaining eye contact while slowly licking his lips. "Morning, colleague," he'd purr, letting his gaze crawl over me. During faculty meetings, he'd sit directly across from me, never breaking eye contact, like he was daring me to make another move. I met with girls after school in secret. Sarah rolled up her sleeves, showing finger-shaped bruises. "He locks the door during private coaching," she whispered. "Says real actresses trust their directors completely." Emma described the costume fittings in his office while he watched, claiming he needed to ensure proper artistic vision. When Sam, a young teacher, tried to back me up, he got fired within a week for inappropriate conduct. Security dragged him out, but he gripped my arm first. "They scrubbed his computer," he whispered, voice shaking, "and they made the girls sign papers. All of it was gone." The threats escalated fast. A razor blade appeared in my mailbox with a note. "End it." My neighbors stopped making eye contact. Maya was scratching her skin raw, jumping at every sound, crying into her pillow about how Peterson said he'd make sure something happened to me if she talked. Everything exploded when Maya vanished after school. I found her 3 hours later in a janitor's closet, shirt torn, eyes glazed with terror. "He cornered me," she whispered. "Said you need to learn when to shut up. Said next time would be much worse." That same night, Child Protective Services knocked on my door. "Anonymous tips about potential abuse in this household," they said. Maya clung to me, begging them not to take her away. I called an emergency school board meeting. The auditorium was a war zone. Half the parents screamed I should be fired for false accusations. The other half demanded answers about their daughter's nightmares. Peterson stood up with his trademark smirk. "Some people create drama for attention," he said, his voice dripping with fake concern. Maya stood up. Her voice was barely a whisper, but the room went dead silent. "Mr. Peterson hurt me," she said, hands trembling. "He said if I told, he'd hurt my aunt. He has private sessions where he touches us and says it's character development. He made me change clothes while he watched." The dam burst. One by one, girls stood up sharing their horror stories. Sarah described the locked rehearsals. Emma talked about the costume fittings. Parents were sobbing, teachers shouting, and Peterson's cocky mask cracked as more victims found their courage. I lunged for him, but security dragged me out. It didn't matter. The truth was nuclear, and there was no containing the fallout. Peterson resigned before sunrise, but things didn't end there. Once the girls spoke out, the police opened an investigation. News crews showed up, and Peterson's lawyer tried to spin the story, but nobody was buying it. He was arrested a week later and ended up getting convicted on multiple charges. Last I heard, he's serving a long sentence and won't be seeing the outside anytime soon.